Today on the podcast, we are talking about the Green Team. And if you're not sure what that is, well, guess what? Stick around, check it out. Frame on 8 podcast starts right about now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Frame on 8 podcast. It's your boy, Simbali Nearby Jr., a.k.a. TK, along with my co-host, O. Marv Williams. We call him O, and Denise O. We would call her D Nice. Y'all say what's up to the peeps.
What's up, good people?
It is another lovely Wednesday morning. D Nice is on mute. She says hi. It's all good. And before we get things started, y'all know how we do. We get things popping with our Wednesday affirmations, Affirmation Wednesday, as we call it. So if you got your affirmations with you, got them written down, whatever you want to do, you can get that going. And we're going to get these in and out the way to get our day going and started. Are you ready? Here we go. Today will be a good day. Today will be a great day. Today will be an awesome day. Today will be an amazing day. Today will be a phenomenal day. Today will be stress-free. Today will be a stress-less day. Today, all circumstances, issues, and situations will work in my favor. Today, I will overcome all barriers that want to block my progress. Today, all things will line up for my good. Today, I'll become better than who I was yesterday. I am a go-getter. I am triumphant. I am victorious. I am an overcomer. I never lose. I either win or I learn. I take authority over this day. I will dominate this day. I will conquer this day. And everything I have spoken into this day will happen as I have affirmed, because I am more than a conqueror. Let's get it started. So today we are talking about the Green Team. You guys are like, what is the Green Team? Well, the Green Team has to do with one particular person and player in mind, and that person is Draymond Green. And you guys are probably wondering, why is the Frame on 8 podcast talking about Draymond Green? Well, number one, it's a hot topic. Go figure, right? Number two, Draymond's been in the news a lot lately. And not for good reasons, I would say. It's kind of sad to me because social media has given him a really... They've been going in on him big time. If you ever look on Instagram, people who have a lot of time on their hands for like programming and doing AI and all that stuff, they kind of go after Draymond big time. We'll talk about that a little later. But what we're going to talk about today mainly is the fact that Draymond Green, the USA team, does not want him to be a part of their team as they go into Olympic play. And here's my off the cuff, off the top of my head response to that. I don't blame them. And I'll tell you why in a bit. But I'm going to let Owen Denise do it first, and I'll come in with mine later. So this thing about Draymond not being, quote-unquote, allowed, should we say, on the Dream Team. I'm sorry, Dream Team. Oh, my gosh. Not the Dream Team. I'm sorry. No disrespect. No disrespect. I'm sorry. The USA team. My apologies to the Dream Team. I have no disrespect. The USA team for the Olympics. What are your thoughts on that? Because me initially is just, again, I don't blame them, and I have my reasons why. But I want to hear from you guys and see what your thoughts are on that when it comes to him not being a part of or allowed to participate. All right, Denise, you got it. Wait, Denise or O? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, we got okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll go. I'll go. No, I'll go. Yeah, I'll go. So my thoughts on it, I'm actually in agreement with you, TK. I think that I think they had enough, right? I know you know he takes the villain role and the enforcer role. All sports have their guy that that lays down the law or protects their players, but this guy is actually a little bit out of control. Like I come from the time of Dennis Rodman, but for some reason Dennis Rodman antics seemed like it was like in playoff games where it was warranted. You're doing this in the regular season where it doesn't really matter that much, and you're hitting guys and stepping on guys, genital. Like you're doing things, kicking people that, like, you know what I mean? Like you're doing things that's like totally against the game. You're making the game look bad. You're making a mockery of the game. So them sitting him down and saying he can't participate in the Olympics, I'm 1,000% in agreement with that. I like him, and so this is not against. Like I don't not like him, but I think he needs to show up a little bit better for the sport, for his team, and it can't possibly be a good chemistry builder when he's out of the game for a month. So I agree with them sitting him.
I agree too. I mean, like, giving the trouble after trouble, stepping on players. He's like a little kid. It's not a good look for the team, for overall what the USA team is about and what they represent. And I think already a lot of other countries look at the US as not the best and not the brightest. So it's like, why would you want to add fuel to the fire with someone who's clearly getting suspended, clearly stepping on players, clearly not caring about getting fines game after game. So I think it's a good thing for them to not have him on the team.
All right. So here's my take on it. So I said that I don't blame them, right? But here's my take: is that let's look at this from a business mindset. Okay, business mindset. You have an employee, and this particular employee, strong attributes, is one that you would want to have in the trenches with you. But you have this employee that continues to do things that not only makes themselves look, quote unquote, bad, but makes the company look bad. And when it comes time to, I don't know, raises, promotions, or an opportunity to represent the company, it is highly possible that you are going to get overlooked because your attitude, your behavior is not making the company look good. And the company wants good representation, right? And so I think that's the case with Draymond Green, is that the NBA wants good representation, not just players that have skill and that can play, but players who show forth good attitude, good sportsmanship, X, Y, Z. And I think from a business standpoint, this is what the NBA, the message that they're sending is, we do not care to have this particular employee representing our company, our brand, our name on a global level when it comes to the U.S. basketball team. And so that's my main reason for saying that I don't blame them. My second reason for saying I don't blame them is that at this point in time, what kind of message are you sending if you do put him on the U.S. team? The message you're sending is, we will tolerate this no matter what. And now you're looking at a U.S. team in the future that says, oh, doesn't matter how bad I act or what I do, as long as I can play, they're going to put me on. Not a good look. My third reason is this. And this is probably my most serious and probably most compassionate one, is that when it's all said and done, Draymond Green, I strongly believe he needs to get some sort of help. Now, my thing is, I'm not saying that he is sick anyway, has a disease or anything like that, but there is something that needs to happen to help him along the way of his life's journey. Because as Denise said, if you're constantly, knocking people out in regular season games, I believe there's something wrong there. Now, of course, we've seen this happen in the NBA before, but not at the rate it's going now. Like, it's almost like to the point where it's kind of like, all right, we've had enough. Like, this looks like the NBA/Royal Rumble that we're looking at here. And the sad thing about it is that you get suspended X amount of times, and then you continue to do it. Didn't he get suspended for, what was it? Was it 10 games he got suspended for the last time? 10 games?
Mm-hmm. Something like that.
And you come back and then you get ejected not too long after that. It's like, are you actually getting it? Or are you just figuring, hey, I'm making all this money. I can kind of do whatever I want. They can continue to suspend me, fine me, whatever. Like, I got it. Like, I'm good. It's almost to the liking, and I'm not going to compare it as equal as to Ja Morant. But the NBA had to send him a message and say, okay, this is what you want to do. 25 games. Done. And so I hope that Ja Morant saw that as, hey, they're not going to mess around with me. They're going to have to, because number one, as an employee, I am messing up the brand name that I represent as an employee. So they had to send a message. I think that goes for any players in the NBA now. Now, listen, we've had fights and rumbles in past years. We've had those things happen. But they weren't continuous over an X amount of games in a season. You had your Charles Barkleys, your Charles Oakleys, your Bad Boy Pistons. And, back in the day, in the 70s, we had fights going on, stuff like that. Even in the 90s, there were fights that happened. Jordan got into a few fights, maybe not fist fights, but they were a lot of pushing, shoving, a lot of words said, very aggressive. The Miami Heat, New York Knicks, were teams that really, had got under his skin. Reggie Miller. Jordan's on record saying that he hated playing against Reggie Miller because he always touched him. It's like, he's always touching me. Like, stop touching me, dude. You know what I mean? So it happens. But I think it's happening way too much. In the NBA is now sending a very clear message saying, sorry, but we don't want you to represent us on a global stage. Any comments or rebuttals on that?
No rebuttal at all, man. You explained it great. I think, like I said, I think that the NBA allows tough play when it seems like it's inside the confines of if it's with the flow of the game and it doesn't look like you're going out your way to go hit a man in his face or go out of your way to kick a man while he's on they can't have that. This is not Bush League
Right.
wrestling. You know what I'm saying? This is actual basketball. We have our seal. You got the logo on. It's a worldwide game now, and everybody's watching. We can't have a guy out there just recklessly doing what he wants to do. And again, it's in regular season game. That's my thing. It's like, you're this angry at a man in the game number 30 or game number 25. Like, we're not even in the playoffs.
Playoffs?
You're
Playoffs?
right. Like,
Playoffs?
You're fighting this guy. Like, come on, Draymond. And again, like I said, they had enough. That Warriors team it's breaking up too. That's another topic for another day. I think those days are numbered, and I just think, oh man, they had enough with him. And the Olympics was just icing on the cake to let him know we're not playing with you, brother.
It's unfortunate. Yeah, now, I will say this: the other person I really kind of feel for is Steph Curry, because there's some backlash coming on him now for the fact that he can't calm Draymond Green down. It's like he can't talk to Draymond and get him together. Let's be very honest and very clear about it. Number one, it's not solely on Steph Curry to get Draymond to calm down. Like, that's an organizational thing. yes, Steph has some leadership and some accountability there, but it's not all on him. I mean, that's an organizational thing. It's from the head coaches, all the other coaches, the GMs, all of them. It's kind of like, hey, what are we going to put in place to help him out? What are we going? And if you have things in place, he's not accepting them or doing them, then that's a different story. Now, again, I will say this: NBA is about W's, and it's like as long as you're helping us win, we'll keep you around. But when it comes to big opportunities, we might have to pull back on that. And I think they're at that point now where it's like, are the wins that important now, as opposed to like, are we losing our identity and our are we losing the locker room on the fact of this one particular player? Now, again, don't make no mistake about it. We're not sitting here harping on Draymond Green, but we're just kind of pointing out the obvious. At the same time, yeah, we may make some guesses here or there, but the thing is, the writing's kind of on the wall. You know what I mean? And until we hear different or see different, and again, I hope that whatever it is that he needs to get himself through this journey, that he gets it. But it's not looking really good for him right now.
Not at all.
Because I'm almost convinced that he will likely end up being traded after this season. I'm not sure, where he will go, who will want him. Like someone will. Someone will be willing to take on the attitude and the behavior and take what he brings to the team from a winning standpoint. But I'm not sure I'm convinced outside of Golden State that he will thrive with any other team. I mean, that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. But I think that may not be the issue. He may not thrive in that. So,
right.
I don't know. One thing I do want to talk about, too, is the fact that, speaking of, other players like him, like you had your Charles Barkley's, the Charles Oakleys. Dennis Rodman was another one. Dennis Rodman is on record saying that, hey, if I was playing in this league right now and Draymond was playing, like he's like, I got something for him. I got something for him. Ron Artest. There's actually footage out there that shows Draymond Green at one point, he was kind of stepped to Ron Artest after a play. And Ron Artest was like, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that.
You don't want that.
And he calmed down real quick. Now, mind you, this was a slightly younger Draymond Green who wasn't, in his prime yet. He wasn't, Golden State wasn't doing that yet. They were kind of on the up and coming to a little degree. But he kind of like, he kind of realized, hey, this guy right here, he a little more crazy than I am. Let me kind of fall back a little bit. You know what I mean? It's not going to be the one I want to come on.
The bullies.
Exactly. So, you had your players out there that kind of had that. But nothing to this degree and as often as we've seen it so far.
Are you looking for an apparel company that's positive, uplifting, and truly cares about you? Then look no further. Frame of Mind, Inc., an apparel brand company, impresses on individuals to think positive thoughts, say positive things, and do positive deeds. Get positive apparel, such as t-shirts, hoodies, and wristbands for children, teens, and adults in various colors and sizes. Customized services include logo and t-shirt design, screen printing for individuals, families, schools, profit, and nonprofit organizations. You can reach Frame of Mind, Inc. at 302-689-3499 or visit their website at www.frameofmindinc.com. Frame of Mind, Inc. Think it, speak it, achieve it.
What do you think is the leading reason why Draymond has done this, or why it's lasted so long? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
So it's two things. One of the things I think is because he's on one of the greatest teams of all time, and he's a vital part, right? So if I'm a vital part of one of the greatest teams of all time, I get a little bit more leeway or a little bit more grace than a guy like Ja Morant, right?
Okay.
Now, I'm not comparing the two things, but I'm trying to think of another player that's another menace. Can't think one off the top of my head, but because he's one of the greatest teams of all time, and he's a vital part, and he's a name in the league, elder statesman. You know what? We'll let him go. We'll try to pull him to the side, like Draymond, relax. My second point, though, you guys may not agree with me. I think is money. These guys don't need the league anymore. Them old school players, they needed the league. Like, you couldn't just do what you wanted to do. Somebody saying, look, brother, we're going to suspend you for such and such games, and it's going to affect that check. Back in the day, it's like, all right, I'll get in line. He's out for a month. Say he loses $30 million. I don't know how much. I'm giving you a ballpark figure. The man that made in his career, he probably made over $300 million.
I hear you.
He don't need the money. So I do what I want to do.
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying?
Denise, you got anything you want to say on that?
Yeah.
So I also agree with that, but I think, because I know Coach Prime said this when he first got to Colorado, because they asked him, like, would you coach pro? And he said, no. He said, these guys, they're more about money now. And that's literally like, they're more fabricated, they're more decorated than these college players who actually have a purpose, actually have a goal in mind. Like, these pro athletes, it's all about money. And I agree, like, it's all about money now. And with Draymond, he's kind of like, well, I'm a starter. Press says what the public says because I'm making this money and I'm done for like what? If I'm out for like, say, 2 weeks, I can go book a promo shoot with Gatorade and I'll make 3 times as much as that in that one promo shoot. And then you can you want to kick me out another 2 weeks? Hey, Body Armor, you need somebody to sponsor you? That's another, month and a half's check right there. So it's like the money adds up with the league. So the league is just there now. The league is just like, say the Destiny's Child. The league is like Michelle Williams. She's good, but we don't really focus on her. Who do we focus on more? Beyonce. So think about it. That's literally what it is. Like, there's always more streams of income for them. And to go back to the point of Steph, I think Steph, he's about to have his 4th child. He's like, look, I got kids at home. I don't have time to be babysitting these grown men when I have kids at home. So you really can't blame him for not really want to focus on Draymond, because at the end of the day, Draymond is a grown man with children of his own. So it's like Steph is more of like, why I say what I say, but is he going to do it? No. I'm more focused. So that's what I have to say.
Well, first of all, let's address the Michelle Williams thing, okay? First of all, because Michelle Williams, we love you.
I love her. I love her though. I love her. But I'm saying.
But the analysis was great. I mean, it was kind of on point. Like, that's kind of true.
Solid.
So you got to give a props for that. All right. But Michelle Williams, we love you. All right.
Yes, we do.
Back to O's point, as far as the money's concerned, it's been said before. It's probably will be continued to be said. But you know what? I'm not even going to quote Jordan. I'm just going to say it in general. The players nowadays, as opposed to the players before, had to earn what they got. The players now are paid before they even play a game. Why would I put forth my best effort? Why would I care about my attitude and behavior when you've already paid me and I've done nothing to earn it? That's a league problem. It's a league problem. And so I think, NFL, NBA, particularly, paying players before they've shown what they've done yet. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where you kind of done this to yourself. And then when you tolerate that, this is the product you get. And now here's the thing too, and this is not hearsay, this is actual, numbers. I don't have them with me, but the numbers say that the NBA, the people who are watching the NBA, is going down. People are more interested in women's college basketball than they are the NBA. They're more interested in men's college basketball than the NBA. It's quite even possible they're more interested in the UFL than NBA basketball. And the UFL just started this year, combining the XFL and the UFL together. I'm just saying. And I'll be honest, this is me being honest. There's not much NBA that I watch until it becomes playoff time. That's just my own opinion. I will watch college basketball anytime, any day before I watch NBA. Now, again, playoff time, you want to see what happens, what goes on. I get it. When you have this kind of product out there where you have, and of course, let's be fully honest, open too. Social media has opened up a wave of new eyes on things. So, like, if John Morant was to do what he was doing 20 years ago, well, you might not see it on the news as much because it was in social media. You may catch it, you may not. Who knows? Now, there's cameras everywhere. Like, they're everywhere. They're on traffic lights. They're on lighting poles. Like, they're everywhere. Everybody's got cameras. So it's not a whole lot you can do if you're a public figure, especially, and hide from it. Heck, the rest of us who are, quote unquote, considered to be regular average people, not much we can do without a camera catching us. So, but I think overall, it's a league issue. You're paying players before they even play a game. Like, where's the earning before you get it come from, And that's just my take on that too. So I think that's probably the bottom line issue. Like, and here's the thing that, we've heard it before. We'll say it again. And it's money is not the root of all evil. It's the love of money that's the root of all evil. Okay? And listen, you guys know here we're all about, serving the Most High. We're all here. So the thing is that's scripture. The love of money is the root of all evil. And I think that if the NBA can get back to saying, hey, we're going to start having to where players have to earn, so we just decide to pay up front. Number one, you have a better product out there. Number two, you'll have better behavior from players. And then number three, you'll actually have, people wanting to watch games, from a televised standpoint more often. Now, look, the NBA is not losing a whole lot of money. They're not. But viewership is down. And I think until that becomes an issue, on a larger scale, it may not matter to them at all. So, but that's fine. Getting back to Draymond Green, I do hope that things do get better for him. Again, we're not making any accusations or assumptions that, that he's, has a sickness or a disease or anything like that. But it's kind of like when you see these things happening continuously, there's some help that needs to be had somewhere, some sort of intervention. And we hope that he, that he gets to encounter that. So, anybody have any other last words or anything else you want to say about this topic? It's not going to be a long podcast today, but we wanted to kind of get that out there because, again, we are a mindset podcast. But let's be honest, like, the question really is, what's going on in the mind of Draymond Green? Like, why is it that these things keep happening? And why does it appear to be to him, it's okay? Like, he doesn't appear to feel like it's nothing wrong. Like, he may be remorseful to a degree, but it's like, it's okay this is happening. Like, this is quote unquote normal to him to a large degree. So, what's going on in the mind? Do we think we know what's going on in his mindset? We don't. We can all, again, speculate, but hopefully it's a mindset. Definitely is.
Get your mind right. Get your mind right.
So, any last words before we go and wrap this up?
Yeah, I'll finish with this. I think culturally, things are changing, right? So, like, we're comparing him to back in the day players, and I know I said money, and I wholeheartedly believe that has a part to play in it. But, like, culturally now, bad behavior is rewarded.
Say that,
like,
brother.
You do bad behavior, You get that endorsement deal. You get the YouTube channel. You get all the interviews. You might even get a commercial promoting boxing gloves.
Or your own podcast.
Or your own podcast.
That's sponsored
so like
by a sports network.
Yes. And it's throughout all levels of society. It's like, to get paid as a female, you got to act like you're selling your body. To get paid as a male rapper, you got to act like you're shooting up everybody you see or selling every drug you ever came across. It's like it gets rewarded. So like sex, drugs, rock and roll, violence. In today's culture, you can get paid from it. So I just think we're at a, it's like a crossroads of, it's like perfect timing. Now we got Draymond Green and it's like accepted. Like he's going to be fine regardless if they kick him out of the league forever. That might even boost his stock as a person. Yeah. So just culturally things got to get right.
Well said, brother. Well said. Denise?
Yeah.
No, she has nothing to say. All right. Never mind. Well, you heard it here, guys. Again, just to make it very clear, we're not at all, putting him down, anything like that. We're just kind of, we're stating what the news has said and what we've seen, but we're kind of like, hey, let's have a conversation about it. You know what I mean? Because I think that what's happening with Draymond Green from a business standpoint is something that we all need to can learn from. If you're working at a job, you're working for a company, if it's not your company and you're not running it and you're working for someone else, it's like you have to be mindful of how you're carrying yourself and how you're acting. You might have got looked over for that promotion. You might have, decided that, you wanted to take a new position. They didn't give it to you. It's like, all right, may not be the right timing. But if your attitude and your behavior starts, being very negative, then you're never going to get looked at, And then again, maybe what you're looking for may not be at that particular job. You may have to go somewhere else. It's possible. But the main thing is that when you're working for someone else and you are making the company and brand look bad based on your attitude and behavior, mainly your behavior, they're going to miss out on opportunities. And this is an opportunity that I'm sure that Draymond Green wanted, but now the opportunity is not there. And again, like O said, for him, he really doesn't need it from a money standpoint, but when you get a chance to represent your country in any way on a global stage, that's a great honor. It's something that someone may want to do, but that's unfortunately not the case here. And so let's just take this into our own lives and realize that what we think we need to do to keep ourselves in line as well. None of us are perfect, all right? None of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. We all have moments. Again, we have good conversation here. We talk about some things that others may not talk about, and we don't go overboard with things. But again, we're going to have the conversation because we think the conversation needs to be had, because it's good to talk about some of these things and kind of see how we can apply those things to our lives, or not apply them to our lives because they may not fit our way of life. So anyway, thanks for joining us today, everybody. We'll see you guys next time. Continue to think it, speak it, and achieve it. And until next time, for myself, O and Denise, we holla.
Thank you for joining the Frame of Mind Inc. podcast. And as always, here at Frame of Mind Inc., think positive thoughts, say positive things, and do positive deeds. As our tagline says, think it, speak it, achieve it. See you next time.
It's a frame of mind. It's what you say and what you do.
Don't forget to check us out on the web at www.frameofmindinc.com, where you can browse our online apparel store, listen to some of our original music and production services, as well as view our videos and projects we've done for our clients and customers.